Hello everyone. So today we are going to watch one of my or review one of my games. I play the Ayyubids versus the Byzantines, both whom are new civs that came with the expansion that was released a couple weeks ago now. And I just wanted to show the execution of the build order that I put up on my YouTube, which was the Bazaar or Casino build order. And right now I'm sitting around 1600, and this guy is also around 1600. So we're both Conqueror 3 players, albeit, not that top 1% or so, but I am trying to climb to get there. So, as you all know, it goes 7 on food to start with, and then to gold after that. And so we're just gonna fast forward through this build order because it's basically on in the other video, and definitely check that out if you want to go through a slower version and my mindset around starting that build. Okay. So once we get to fuel here, that's where we can start with the game basically. My opponent's doing very normal stuff. He's going up his cisterns, connecting them, and trying to age up as well. Okay. It is more important to get sheep with Ayyubids than it is Abbasids, so I do want to make sure that I get a good amount of sheep. And as we start to finish the age up here, you can see I'm going trade with Bazaar. I am heavy on wood. Right, so I have 7 on wood so far, and then I have 5 on gold to make sure I have enough gold for wheelbarrow and my Bazaar tickets. Now this is a bit wonky right now with the overlay because it doesn't show that I'm aging up as well, right? It shows him aging up and not me, so I age up a few seconds before him here. Okay. And you can see here, my tickets weren't great, so I decided to go with the javelin throwers because I can put out pressure immediately. In hindsight, this probably wasn't the best issue or best thing to do because he did go hippodrome, and horsemen just counter these. So, but I didn't really have great options because trade is here. So normally I would try to go traders. So I could have tried for his trade post, but I don't know how long that would have lasted. I could have gone for a second TC, but I decided not against that this game. But in hindsight, maybe I should have gone that second TC because I would have only needed to get an extra 50 stone. But I am paying 250 gold for that, so I don't necessarily know if that is worth it. But again, same opening, so I want to get my Desert Raider out quickly, and I want to tower my gold because it is at the front of my base, and it is very exposed, and gold is very important. So this is where I come in with the, unfortunately I lose one of them to the TC because I wasn't paying attention. Again, not a top 1% player, but this is definitely a mistake that I shouldn't make. And then here I'm just harassing his villagers, causing his horsemen to come back. So I guess that buys me a bit of time, but it is essentially a waste of 125 gold on my part. So definitely not great. I do get my Desert Raider out with my horsemen. I do know that this is an area that is kind of exposed, and because I know that he's gone a lot of horsemen, I am opening up with my second production building being a barracks so I can get some spears out. So second Desert Raider coming out, and if we go back to kind of income per minute, so he does have way more food income, and I still am heavy on wood because I still want to get certain things going for me. I do a short wall so I can't be harassed, and he's killing wolves in the middle. So I believe with 2 Desert Raiders I probably beat 3 horsemen, so I could take that if I wanted to, but he is also reinforcing as well, and I'm just building my 3rd one right now. So this is basically the build up right now. I'm just trying to match whatever aggression is coming out of him. I get a nice villager kill here, which is really nice actually, because I obviously delay the cistern and get value from that, and he cannot harass my gold. So he obviously chases me around over here, and then I want to group up. Sorry for the camera work. Fairly new to this, so I want to group up my camels. And so so he's moving out to the berries. You know, Byzantines, they want to get berries because they want to get the olive oil for their mercenaries. And he started to throw in some archers. So this is the correct response. Desert Raiders, they have 0 ranged armor, but 5 melee armor. So you definitely want to be building archers as opposed to spears. So what's nice, I get another villager kill here. So it's now a 2 villager difference. So very happy with this so far. Even though I lost the 2 Bedouin skirmishers in the beginning, very happy that I have 2 villagers. I've basically finished walling up my side, you know, to protect against any raids from him. I have my spearmen covering my gold. And then I can start to move to all this back food here pretty comfortably. So he is chasing me off. Horsemen are slightly faster, right? These are 1.62 and these are 1.88, so I will lose this one, which is not great. But what I do here is I'm ready to pull my spears forward to meet these units. So even though he has more army value and more destroyed value, I'm still technically, or at least I feel that I'm technically still ahead because he's lost 2 villagers and I haven't. And I'll hopefully get villager tickets from this at some point, which will boost my economy as well. So yeah, at this point I just want to keep creating units. I'm not creating any spears because I see that, you know, his horseman mass isn't really growing that much. So I don't really want to overcommit, right? This is a mistake that I see a lot of people make where they overcommit, and then the other person goes castle, and now you're just behind. So it's important to evaluate your situation. I don't feel like Ayyubids are great at killing their opponent in feudal, but I do feel like they are pretty strong at controlling the map. So you want to try and get to castle, so you can get access to armored units, so you can dive under TC, and by that point he'll be out on the map with other resources as well. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find where his other resources are. I have my spears over here covering you know, this side of the map in case he decides to come around. And then again, my base is pretty insulated, but again, I am looking to go to castle here pretty much. So what's important is when I do go castle that I try to preserve my units. I don't throw them all away in a fight. So he actually realizes here really quickly, which is really good for him. You know, I guess there's not too much going on. I should have tried to attack from 2 different areas. But yeah, he reacted quite well to that. I do feel like the second outpost is a bit of an overcommitment. But you know, he doesn't know how much I have behind this at the time. So he's comfortable right now. I'm comfortable. I am going up with reinforcements because I do see that, you know, he's into horsemen. So getting those 3 desert raiders every 2 minutes I find is pretty good. And again, because I have control of the map, I can go out onto the natural food, which is also great. And I still have a back berries and a back deer here. So I'm just going here now because my villagers were from over here, so it's a shorter walk distance and it's fairly close to my base. And I have control of the map. So I'm just looking to get the age up in. What I want to do is make sure I get the upgrade to veteran and start pumping out gulams. I will also be throwing on some production here in a second to mass up, right? And he's also going castle. He actually reached castle before me, which I kind of didn't expect, but he definitely rushed it up with 10 villagers or more. So if we just speed it up here while the game's a little slow, you know, he's walling off himself now, which is good. He should have done that a little while ago probably. And you know, he's got a decent setup. He's got 5 cisterns, right? So he must be feeling pretty comfortable as well. And so I get up, I'm getting my veteran upgrade, and I'm pumping out gulams because gulams are very, very good units, even without the Abbasid unique technology of boot camp, where they do get the extra HP. I believe they go up to like 216 HP instead of the 195. So I've thrown on blacksmith, and I need to you know, start upgrading these because I do have the gold. So a little bit slow on my part here. And then I do want to throw down another archery range because I do expect correctly that he's going to build cataphracts. Amazing unit. Great to see them from AoE 2. But I will need crossbows to take these bad boys down because, you know, they're very, very tanky, right? 360 HP. Okay. And then right now what I want to do is I want to test his army strength, so I'm moving across the map, seeing if he's moved to any of these outer resources. And I also am building a monastery because I want to get the relics, right? Relics. In an even game, if I have more relics, then I'm going to be, you know, ahead. Obviously right now army-wise I'm ahead, army value I'm ahead, so I'm very happy with the situation I'm in right now. I could probably start to be a bit more aggressive, but I'm taking the more passive route because I don't know how much he has, and I should probably go check, so that's a mistake on my part. And I think I go do that with these units right here, but I do want to make sure that I secure these relics. Okay. So, moving with my army, I want to go attack this side because I know that he's already walled off this side and this side's not walled, so this is the point of attack, and conversely he knows that this is the point to defend. So whenever you're playing your own games, you want to try and use walls and your army to defend or force your opponent into certain routes. Right, so I see that he has his army here, so I don't engage because I see, you know, he has more than I have right now. But I am, you know, slowly picking up these relics, slowly building up my army, adding on production. Right, I'm gonna add on stables because I want to get in some camel lancers. So it's great that, you know, he went heavy cav. He has gulams as well. It's kind of funny, but he has heavy cav. So it means that camel on ease will do very well to help me in these fights because it will cause his cavalry units to do 20 less damage. So I'm trying to be as active as I can with these units, like trying to go from one side to the other. But I do see that he's walled, and so there's kind of no opportunity for attack there just yet. And we're just both building up our armies, getting our upgrades in. You can see that he has, you know, double ranged armor, and I'm slowly getting my eco upgrades in here. So upgrade wise, we're ahead. Like we're even. But I now have 2 relics. He does come in for this fight, and I just have a lot of spears at this point. And so his cataphracts don't do as much for him here. And oops, sorry, I should slow this down. And I'm cutting off his reinforcements with the rest of my army. And I think I barely win this fight just because of the amount of crossbow that I have, and I had a lot of spears. And he's fighting right in front of my production. Meanwhile, I'm cutting off his reinforcements. So now what I do is I go collapse on the rest of his army. And from here, I take control of the game. Again, sorry if this seems a little bit sloppy. I don't cast, or I'm just getting into trying to cast my own games and give insight into what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing. And so I switch here to ranged form just because they can all attack at the same time, whereas if they're in melee form, they kind of clump up on each other, so it is quite useful from that perspective. And so I finished cleaning that up, which is great because now you can see the army value difference is quite large, even though he's destroyed, more value than I have, right? I've killed 3 workers, and he must have stopped building workers maybe a little, and I've also been getting workers from my casino. So since I know I kill his army, I want to keep up the pressure, so I make sure to get the rest of the relics. I can get a 4th relic, and then start to take the sacred sites, which I do here. But I want to keep up the pressure by getting into his base with the units I have, at least the mobile ones, and then I start to bring my whole army up, right? So I want to try and attack where he's weak, which I know is probably on the right side here. And so again, he has a decent army to defend this off, so I don't really win that, at least not handedly, not without the rest of my units. So there's no point in trying to take a 50-50 fight when I know that I'm ahead. And I know that I'm ahead because I won that huge fight earlier, and I'm using my infantry units, which are a lot slower, to push in from the front. What I should have probably done is left some units over here in the stealth forest and came over here with them once I was attacking from the front. But I'm just continuing to produce units. I'm starting to build camel lancers. I should be rallying, more forward, so that's a mistake that I could make or improve on. And now I'm capturing the city. So I want to burn down this gate because I want to get into his eco, right? Right. Any eco damage that I get is good at this point. I have a far superior army, almost triple his army value. And so I bait him in here. I use my ghulams to scream, and then turn all my guys into melee form so they can provide a front line for my crossbows, and I get my camels in the back. And you can see here there's some camel stacking, which isn't great because they do have quite large models, so they can cause a lot of unit collision, which led to some inefficiencies in this fight. Not to mention, I left some units behind here. So if I had all my army together, I probably win this fight way more decisively. But I didn't manage to, and then this is where my reinforcements come in, and I try to clean up the rest of this fight here. Alright. I do have my double ranged armor as well, and I don't feel like I have enough to push into those crossbow, so I just back off a little bit, right? I'm definitely ahead. Like, this is the other thing is you don't need to always finish a game as soon as possible. In this case, I have full map control. I have 2 sacred sites, probably going to be 3 in a minute or 2. He's confined to his base. I've gotten villager kills, he hasn't. So I know that I'm ahead because I also haven't seen a second VC. So I can just, mass up more than him eventually and then just overpower him, which is what I'm trying to do here. Right? This initial force wasn't necessarily enough to walk into his base and kill him, so I don't want to throw away my army trying to do so. And because I see that he has a lot of crossbow built up, I start to throw in horsemen, which are the best answer to them, other than potentially a mangonel, which I never really had wood for. So this is what I'm thinking here. I also have these units on the side. I should have started to burn that down. And I should have had some units coming over here. He's doing a big farm transition because he's out of natural food, right? He wasn't able to get his front deer where I was. I got my front deer. I got the side deer up here. I got my berries back here. So I got a lot more natural food than him. I even threw in a second TC at this point because I probably figured I had tickets here, and it was a good use of stone to get even further ahead. I want to throw up a castle because I want to secure a forward base, and just want to continue to mass up. Right at this point, when I get wood, I should also try to add in rams so I can start ramming down and putting more pressure on him. But as you can see, he's doing a massive farm transition, and that's kind of what puts me ahead here because he didn't really have the food income prior to that to continue building an army, whereas I do, because I still have natural food and I've done a few farm transitions earlier. Not to mention I can trade in if I have tickets for more food here, and yeah, I come forward, build this castle. I have more army value, more eco, so I feel like I'm in a good position here. Just outside his base, and I do feel like so the mistake that some players may make is they'll build a ram trying to push in, but since our armies haven't fought in a while, he's probably massed some army, and so I want to win the fight first, and the way that I do that is by building a mangonel. Okay, and then you can see I throw in the ram, right? So he unfortunately cleans my army up over there, but that's fine. It's only a couple units, and then these are another 3. So I think all in all, I probably got like 10 or 12 of these. 12 of these desert raiders at least so far. If not more than that, which means that I got a fair amount of value out of them because it's 540 per round. So if I got 5 or 6 rounds, it's a good amount of value. and that's why I like this one so much. Reinforcements. In castle, because that's where you're doing a lot of the fighting. So this is where he feels like he can move out, which was a mistake. I feel that he's doing without siege, right? And then that's where I get my mangonel shooting on his range units, right, with his crossbow. And he's having to kite them around. I try to bring my horsemen forward to try and get on, and I just, at this point, I have too much. And then this is where he tries to attack my mangonel. I pull my army to screen for them, and in the meantime, my mangonel is still shooting. He loses pretty much all his front line at this point. So if I were him, what I would have done is built a mangonel myself to try and even the odds. Because if your opponent has a bigger army than you, the way that you can even the odds is through siege. So he should have gone, one if not two mangonels to try and kill my units, right? Because otherwise he has no way to kill my infantry mass. Yeah, and that was the game. We can have a quick look at the chart if I can find the game. It was right here. I believe his name when I played him was Bellringer. He must have changed his name, but you can see here I had more unit count than him, slightly more villagers, and every time you see a little pop, that's probably villagers that I get from the Bazaar, which I kind of got unlucky with this game, not gonna lie. My military count, and then funny, it has all olive oil count. Now if we just go through the statistics, kill more units, larger army, way stronger eco. There's the age ups, and he had 1 second better of idle villager time, but you can see I got that 4 relics, which made a huge difference to the gold income, right? I double his gold income. Ayyubids are much heavier on gold than Abbasid, but yeah, so really enjoying Ayyubids. I think they're really strong on 1v1 ladder. They're fairly simple to play, I find. And they're just really good in this meta right now because everyone wants to play cavalry, with the exception of potentially Japan, and camel on ease, where it gives the 20% debuff in terms of damage to your opponent's cavalry, is just so strong. Not to mention, Desert Raiders have 5 melee armor, so they do really well against cavalry. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.